What should have been just another taping spiraled into one of the most unforgettable meltdowns Love and Hip Hop has ever captured. In front of the cast, the cameras, and a stunned production crew, Kirk Frost crossed a line so sharp it cut Mendeecees to the core. His words weren't shade. They were a direct strike, ripping through pride, respect, and loyalty. And for the first time, fans saw Mendeecees lose all composure. Chairs screeched, fists clenched, voices roared, and the set nearly collapsed into an all-out brawl. Castmates were frozen. Some gasped, some whispered, some shouted, but nobody could stop the chaos. What did Kirk say that pushed Mendeecees so far? Why did Yandy break down in tears while Rasheeda pleaded for her husband to stop? And how did this one moment divide Atlanta like never before? Atlanta has always been the heartbeat of love and hip-hop, a city where alliances are fragile. Secrets never stay buried, and one wrong word can ignite a feud that burns hotter than the Georgia summer. But this time, what went down between Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris didn't just rattle a few castmates. It cracked the entire foundation of the group, leaving scars that may never heal. To understand why this confrontation hit so hard, you have to look at the history. Kirk Frost has never been one to hold his tongue. From the earliest seasons, he's carried a reputation as the man who keeps it real, no matter who gets burned in the process. But that honesty has often crossed into cruelty, sparking fights not just with outsiders, but with people closest to him, including his own wife, Rasheeda. Fans haven't forgotten the scandals, the cheating rumors, the secret baby controversy, the countless times Rasheeda had to stand on stage and defend her marriage in front of millions. Time and time again, Kirk's mouth was the spark that lit the flames. And then there's Mendeecees. If Kirk is the agitator, Mendeecees has always been the anchor, known for his calm demeanor, measured tone, and the way he tries to avoid unnecessary chaos. He built a reputation as one of the more level-headed men in the franchise. His love story with Yandy, tested by his prison sentence and his efforts to rebuild after release, it's been one of the most emotional arcs in the show. Fans saw a man who wanted to prove himself again as a husband, a father, and a protector. But here's the thing. Reality TV thrives on contrasts. Kirk's fire and Mendeecees.com were bound to clash. The producers knew it. The cast sensed it. And the fans. They'd been waiting for it. The tension had been building for months. Whispers circled about Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage. Were they as strong as they appeared? Was the pressure of the spotlight pulling them apart? Rumors of loyalty, money struggles, and unspoken resentment swirled behind the scenes. And insiders say Kirk wasn't just a bystander. He was fueling those whispers, repeating them in private conversations, and planting seeds of doubt that grew into weeds of tension. So when the cast gathered that night, seated in a semicircle for what was supposed to be a mediated discussion, the air was already thick. Everyone knew it wouldn't take much for the conversation to turn. It began with the usual back-and-forth petty disagreements, loyalty questions, subtle jabs about who carried more weight in their marriages. But beneath the smiles and half-laughs was a dangerous energy. Kirk leaned back in his chair, arms folded, wearing that familiar smirk. The one Rasheeda herself has admitted gives her chills because it almost always means trouble. And Mendeecees. At first he was calm, his posture steady, his tone level. He wanted to address the rumors about his marriage, to set the record straight about his role as Yandy's partner. But when Kirk leaned forward and opened his mouth, everything shifted. "You always try to play the good husband," Kirk reportedly said, his words sharp and deliberate. "But let's keep it real. Everybody knows Yandy carries more of the weight than you ever did." The room froze, gasps, nervous laughter, castmates whispering under their breath. The blow landed harder than anyone expected, cutting directly into Mendeecees' pride. For a man who spent years trying to rebuild his life and prove his worth to his wife and kids, Kirk's words weren't just shade. They were a public dismissal of everything he had fought for. Yandy's face told the story. Hurt, embarrassment, and fear flickered across her expression. She placed a hand on her husband's arm, silently begging him not to react. But Mendeecees' jaw tightened, his fists clenched, and his voice dropped to a low growl. "Man, Don't disrespect me like that. You don't know what I do for my family." Rasheeda tried to intervene, urging her husband to stop. But Kirk doubled down. "If you were really the man you claimed to be," he continued coldly, "your wife wouldn't always be cleaning up your messes. That was it." The calm veneer shattered. Mendeecees shot up from his chair, the sound screeching against the floor. His breathing heavy, his voice booming. He pointed directly at Kirk. "Say that again? Say it one more time and see what happens." Security braced themselves. Castmates gasped. Sierra covered her mouth. Scrappy muttered, "Oh, this about to go left." In that moment, the line between reality TV and real life blurred. This wasn't just entertainment. This was raw emotion, years of pride and pain exploding in front of everyone. And though security managed to hold Mendeecees back, the damage was done. Fans who later heard about the leak couldn't believe it. The man who had built a reputation for calm and composure was now at the center of a storm. And Kirk. He sat back in his chair, smirking, refusing to back down. That's the thing about Atlanta. Drama doesn't just happen. It brews, it builds. And when it explodes, it changes everything. And this explosion didn't just shake to men. It fractured Aliyah from the very first minute the cameras rolled. The energy was off. Cast members shuffled in their seats, producers exchanged worried glances. And even security staff stood closer than usual, as if they already sensed something bigger than TV drama was about to explode. And they were right. It started small. A few side comments, a few passive-aggressive remarks, the kind of back-and-forth fans have come to expect from Atlanta's cast. But then Kirk Frost leaned forward, his eyes locked on Mendeecees, and unleashed the words that would turn the set into chaos. "You walk around acting like the perfect husband." Kirk sneered. "But everybody in this room knows Yandy's the one holding it all together. She's been carrying the weight while you just talk about it." The silence was deafening. Gasps echoed across the room. Sierra whispered, "Oh no, he didn't." Scrappy muttered under his breath, "This about to get ugly." Even Rasheeda looked frozen, already regretting what had just come out of her husband's mouth. Mendeecees' face tightened instantly. For a man known for his composure, the change was shocking. His calm broke like glass under pressure. His jaw flexed, his fists curled, and his voice came out low but sharp enough to cut through the air. "Don't disrespect me like that, bro. You don't know what I do for my family." The tension snapped. Yandy, panic flashing in her eyes, reached for his arm, whispering, "Please, don't, not here." But the wound was already open. And then Kirk, instead of backing down, twisted the knife. "If you was really the man you say you are," he fired back coldly, "your wife wouldn't have to defend you every time your name get dragged. She wouldn't always be cleaning up after you." That was it. The calm, collected Mendeecees Harris. The man fans had praised for his patience erupted. He pushed back his chair with a screech that cut through the room, lunging forward as castmates scrambled to get between him and Kirk. His voice roared louder than anyone had ever heard on set. "Say it again. Say it one more time and see what happens." Security surged forward. Cameras shook as crews scrambled to keep rolling while also trying to keep the peace. Yandy stepped in front of her husband. The supposed notes shared by a gossip blogger with over 1 million followers. Read Kirk pushes on Mendeecees' marriage role. Encourage tension, Yandy carrying the weight. Get his reaction on camera. Fans lost their minds, if true. This meant Kirk wasn't just stirring drama on his own. He was acting out a storyline the producers wanted. And that revelation divided the internet instantly. Some fans defended Kirk, saying he was just playing the role the show demanded. Others blasted him as heartless for attacking another man's marriage, no matter what producers suggested. And the harshest critics turned their fire on the producers themselves, accusing them of manipulating real lives for ratings. Twitter exploded with takes. "So y'all telling me producers basically set Mendeecees up to snap on camera? That's evil." Nah. Kirk knew what he was doing. Don't blame production. This ain't reality TV no more. This is exploitation. And while fans fought online, insiders whispered that the fallout backstage was even worse. One crew member allegedly overheard Yandy shouting in her dressing room, "You don't get to use my marriage for a storyline." Meanwhile, Rasheeda reportedly broke down in tears, telling producers she was done cleaning up after Kirk's mouth. But the most chilling detail came from an anonymous source who claimed Mendeecees wasn't calmed down even after security pulled him away. He was heard backstage muttering, "If Kirk want to test me like a man, I'll show him what that means off these cameras." Suddenly, the fight wasn't just about words. It was about pride, betrayal, and threats that extended far beyond the set. By the next morning, blogs had a field day. Headlines screamed, "Mendeecees snaps on Kirk Frost, near fight on set." Love and hip-hop producers exposed for orchestrating feud. Yandy in tears as marriage dragged into drama. The city of Atlanta itself buzzed with debate. Barbershops, beauty salons, diners, everyone had an opinion. Was Kirk speaking the truth? Was Mendeecees overreacting? Or was the whole thing a setup by producers hungry for ratings? And that's the terrifying part. Nobody really knew. NCES divided the cast and left Atlanta itself buzzing with one burning question. The set might have cooled down after security pulled Mendeecees away. But outside those studio walls, the firestorm was only just beginning. By the time the sun rose the next morning, Atlanta was buzzing like never before. The fight wasn't just a headline, it was a cultural moment. Tearing through timelines, group chats, and fan forums with the force of a bomb, clips from the confrontation leaked almost instantly. Shaky cell phone footage captured by someone on set spread across Twitter before producers could even attempt damage control. In the video, Kirk's words, "Everybody knows Yandy carries more of the weight than you ever did," echoed across social media. Replayed millions of times with captions like, "Kirk really said this to Mendeecees' face. This is the moment Atlanta split in half. Nah, if somebody said that to me about my wife, I'd lose it too." Within hours, hashtags flooded the internet. Hashtag Team Mendeecees versus hashtag Team Kirk began trending side by side. Instagram Reels showed slow-motion edits of Mendeecees lunging forward, set to dramatic music. TikTok creators dissected every frame of the leaked video like detectives, pointing out Rasheeda's horrified reaction, Yandy's tears, and Scrappy's muttered warning. "Oh, this about to go left." But the backlash didn't stop with fans. Celebrities began weighing in, their comments only pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. Lil Scrappy, who was in the room, jumped on IG Live saying, "Brew, what y'all ain't see is how real it got when the cameras stopped. That wasn't TV anymore, that was real life." His words sent shockwaves, confirming that the leaked footage was just the tip of the iceberg. CARDIB tweeted, "ID see what nobody say. You don't disrespect nobody's marriage on camera. That ain't cute, that's cruel. Period." Boosie Badas, on the other hand, sided with Kirk. "Man, he just keeping it real? Folks don't like the truth no more. Y'all soft." The division spread like wildfire. Fans argued in comments, with some praising Mendeecees for standing up for his marriage, while others insisted Kirk had just said what everyone else was thinking. And then came the second shocking reveal. A gossip page with close ties to production posted a series of screenshots allegedly showing private text messages between Kirk and one of the producers. The texts were damning. "Producer, need you to push on Mendeecees tonight. Go for the marriage angle, Kirk. Say less. I got him." The leak hit the internet like a sledgehammer. If true, it meant Kirk hadn't just crossed a line. He had planned it. Worse, he had teamed up with production to do it, weaponizing Mendeecees' marriage for the sake of a storyline. Fans erupted, so Kirk premeditated this. Nah, that's evil. This ain't reality no more. This scripted abuse. Mendeecees got a sue VH1 for this mess. Yandy herself fueled the flames when she posted a cryptic Instagram story hours later. Over a black background, she wrote, "You don't use people's pain as your punchline. Remember that?" Fans instantly interpreted it as confirmation that the texts were real. Meanwhile, Rasheeda broke her silence in a tearful live video. Her voice cracked as she admitted, "I told Kirk he was wrong. I told him, but he wouldn't listen. I'm tired of being the one apologizing for his mouth." Her video only deepened the fracture. For years, fans had accused Rasheeda of standing by Kirk no matter what. Now, with her finally pushing back, viewers wondered if this confrontation wasn't just breaking Mendeecees, it was breaking Kirk's marriage too. And the industry. It went into full meltdown. Bloggers accused Love and Hip Hop of crossing ethical lines. Media outlets debated whether reality TV had gone too far. Even mainstream morning shows picked up the story, framing it as a case study in how far producers will go to chase ratings. But the most chilling whispers came from insiders close to Mendeecees, Keys himself. According to one source, after leaving the set that night, Mendeecees told a close friend, "If they want me to be the villain, fine. But I'm not letting nobody disrespect my family again. Not Kirk, not producers, not nobody." The implication was clear. Mendeecees wasn't just angry. He was plotting his next move. And then, just as fans thought the story couldn't escalate any further, another bombshell dropped. A mysterious Reddit thread appeared, posted under an anonymous account claiming to be a crew member. The post alleged that the fight between Kirk and Mendeecees had been so explosive that VH1 executives were considering pulling the footage entirely, fearing it crossed a line that could spark lawsuits. But here's the kicker. According to the thread, someone high up wanted it to air anyway, uncut. The claim read, "They know this will be the highest-rated episode in years. They don't care about the fallout. They want the chaos." Fans couldn't believe it. If true, it meant the network was willing to gamble everything: reputations, marriages, friendships, just for views. The comment section was a war zone. Some fans swore they would boycott the show if the footage aired. Others admitted they'd tune in no matter what, unable to resist the spectacle, and through it all, the cast remained eerily silent. No posts from Kirk, no public words from Mendeecees, just silence, which only made fans more suspicious, because silence in Atlanta never means peace. It means the storm is far from over, and that's where this shocking reveal leaves us. Kirk isn't just facing backlash from fans, he's facing a brewing war inside his own circle. Mendeecees isn't just a husband defending his wife, he's a man pushed to the edge, ready to fight back harder than anyone expects. And the producers. They're not just documenting the drama, they might be the ones scripting the downfall. The only question now is, who will break first? The fight between Kirk Frost and Mendeecees didn't just stop on set. It became the talk of Atlanta. And the fallout spread like wildfire across the industry. The morning after the near brawl, Twitter timelines looked like battlefields. Clips of Kirk's words, "Yandy carries more of the weight than you ever did," were replayed in endless loops, dissected by thousands of users. Fans chose sides instantly, with hashtags #Team Mendeecees and #Team Kirk both trending. But it wasn't just two hashtags, it was war. One fan wrote, "Mendeecees held his family down while locked up. Don't ever play with that man's name. Kirk out of pocket." Another clapped back, "Kirk just spoke the truth everybody's scared to say. Yandy been carrying that marriage." TikTok stitched together dramatic edits of the leaked footage. Some clips slowed down Mendeecees standing, fists clenched, with captions like, "When calm men finally snap." Others zoomed in on Kirk's smirk, set to villain music, painting him as the unapologetic truth-teller of Atlanta. Within hours, millions of views piled up, fueling the narrative that this wasn't just a TV scion on everyone's lips. What would happen when Kirk and Mendeecees faced each other again? At first, it was calm. The host guided the group through smaller conflicts, tossing playful questions to the cast, testing the waters. But the air was heavy, every laugh forced, every smile brittle. Everyone knew the storm hadn't passed, it was waiting. And then the moment came, the host leaned forward, eyes sharp. "We have to address it. Kirk, Mendeecees, your confrontation shook Atlanta. Fans are divided. Where do you two stand now? The crowd erupted in cheers, gasps, and applause. Phones raised instantly, capturing every second. Kirk adjusted his jacket, leaning forward with a defiant smirk. Look, I said what I said. I wasn't trying to disrespect nobody, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like Yandy don't carry more than her share. That's the truth. If he can't handle it, that's on him. The crowd booed and cheered at once, the division spilling into the room itself. Mendeecees sat stone-faced, arms crossed, his jaw tight. But before he could speak, Yandy cut in. Her voice trembled, but her words were sharp. My marriage ain't your storyline. My pain ain't your punchline. And I'm tired of sitting here while people like you try to tear down what we've built. The audience roared with applause, but Kirk wasn't finished. He leaned closer, his voice cold. Peace don't come when secrets keep leaking. I didn't create that mess. I just said it out loud. And that's when Mendeecees finally snapped back. Not with fists, but with words sharper than any punch. He leaned forward, his voice steady but deadly. You want to talk about marriage? Let's talk about yours. How many seasons did we sit here and watch Rasheeda cry because of you? You don't get to throw stones when your whole house been on fire. The room gasped. Rasheeda buried her face in her hands, tears streaming as Kirk's jaw clenched, his pride cracking under the weight of truth. But the final twist came not from the men, but from Rasheeda herself. For the first time, after years of defending her husband, she broke. Her voice cracked as she said, You know what, Kirk? I can't defend you this time. You crossed a line, and you didn't just embarrass yourself, you embarrassed me. The audience went wild. Cast members exchanged shocked looks. Even the host sat frozen for a moment. Kirk's face turned red, his smirk gone, his defenses shattered. For the first time, he was the one left speechless. And that's when the whispers started. Audience members claimed they saw Rasheeda slip off stage early, avoiding her husband. Backstage crew leaked that she told producers she was done covering for Kirk. Some even claimed she walked out of the reunion taping entirely, leaving Kirk to face the music alone. The cliffhanger couldn't be clearer. The feud didn't just divide Kirk and Mendeecees, it might have cracked Kirk's own marriage wide open. Blogs erupted instantly with headlines. Rasheeda finally turns on Kirk at reunion. Atlanta reunion chaos. Kirk versus Mendeecees. Round 2 ends with shocking betrayal. Did Rasheeda just leave Kirk for good? Fans rushed to comment, Rasheeda deserves better, period. Mendeecees kept it real. Kirk got exposed. This reunion might end marriages for real. And just as the episode wrapped filming, one last rumor leaked. Producers were sitting on unaired footage, a backstage confrontation between Rasheeda and Yandy, where the two women shared a moment of raw honesty about carrying the weight of their husbands. Insiders swear the footage is so emotional. VH1 doesn't even know if it should air. EEDA and Yandy finally face off. And there you have it, family. Atlanta has never been this divided. What started as a few sharp words between Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris exploded into something none of us could have predicted. We saw insults, tears, hidden resentments. And for the first time in years, Rasheeda finally broke her silence and left, Kirk standing in the ruins of his own pride. But here's the question that no one can answer yet. Was Kirk wrong for exposing Mendeecees? Or was Mendeecees right for firing back with the truth about Kirk's past? And what about Rasheeda? Did we just witness the beginning of the end of her marriage? Or was this her way of finally demanding the respect she's been denied for so long? Atlanta fans, the ball is in your court. Drop your thoughts below and let's settle this once and for all. Are you riding with #Team Kirk, defending his right to tell it like it is? Or are you standing with #Team Mendeecees, protecting his family's dignity against public humiliation? And let's not forget, #Team Rasheeda, the woman who may have just pulled the ultimate power move by finally stepping out of Kirk's shadow. Make sure you like this video, smash that subscribe button, and turn on those notifications because trust me, this story is far from over. Word is, the unaired reunion footage is even wilder than what we've seen so far. And when that leaks, everything you think you know will change, so stay locked in. Because Atlanta isn't just divided, it's on the edge of collapse. And the next chapter? It might just shatter everything.